2011, law student Lauren Giddings was only one test away from completing her dream and becoming a public defender. Even though she had a ton of studying still to do, she had taken off the first week in June to go to her sister's wedding. Right before she left the wedding to go back to school, she joked with her family that she was going to be locking herself in the library and just studying 24/7. When she got back to campus, none of her classmates saw her at the library. When they didn't see her for a couple of days, they started reaching out to her to see if she was okay. One of Lauren's classmates would reach out to Lauren's sister, and Lauren's sister would write back and say, Lauren told us before she left the wedding that she was going to be locking herself away and just studying. So she would call the police. Can you please go check on Lauren's apartment? Police officer goes over to Lauren's apartment and knocks on the door. Lauren doesn't answer. They try the door. It's locked. A couple of days go by and there's still no word from Lauren. And at this point, Lauren's family file a missing persons report. The police go back to Lauren's apartment. The door is still locked. They get the owner of the apartment building to open up her door. Lauren's not in there. Her cell phone, her keys, her purse, and her laptop are all still in there. After police have done a thorough investigation of Lauren's apartment, they move outside of her apartment. An officer who was looking in the dumpster noticed this big black trash bag. When they opened it, they found a human torso, and it was Lauren's. Right before this discovery was made, a news crew had shown up. They saw what looked like a resident of the building looking visibly shaken up. It would turn out his name was Stephen McDaniel, and he was Lauren's neighbor, and he was a classmate of hers in law school. Stephen became really focused on how he had not seen her in the last week, and the news kind of gets out to the interviewer. They've found a body. Stephen just completely changes, and he goes, a body?
No one has seen her since Saturday. I haven't seen anything. I always hear noise outside, but it's just people walking by pretty much. We just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there?
The police started searching all the rooms on Lauren's floor, and Stephen's room is the first room they searched. They found a key to Lauren's apartment. Whenever she was gone, he would sneak into her room and steal little souvenirs like small articles of clothing. But the creepiest thing they found was this camera that was duct taped to this long pole. He would go outside and he would film her through her windows in the middle of the night. Stephen was quickly charged with Lauren's murder, to which he pled guilty, and he would openly confess to the details of how she died. But on the day she was murdered, after confirming she was in fact home, he used his key to get into her apartment and walked right in. And she apparently sat up and said, you need to leave. At this point, he jumps on the bed and Lauren would plead with him, but he didn't stop and he would strangle her to death. Afterwards, he dragged her into the bathroom and began cutting her up. Some of those pieces got flushed down the toilet. The others were put in bags, and only one of those bags was ever discovered, and that was the one of her torso. Stephen was ultimately given a life sentence.